Hi guys, this is Manu and Anuj here from Xiaomi India office. Yesterday was a very big day for us. We launched two brand new Redmi Note devices, Redmi Note 9 Pro and Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. Yes, we introduced a new series called as Note Pro Max. And boy, what a response we got. It just completely broke the internet. We got more than 1 million views and hundreds of thousands of Mi fans tweeted about this product. So today here we are with one and only Tom Cruise of Xiaomi India, Sir Anuj Sharma, and we are going to answer all the questions that you have. So please go on internet.
Maybe not all.
Okay, as many as possible. So please go on internet, on Twitter, on Mi Community, any other place, and tell us what would you like to answer. What would you like us to answer? Anything that you would like to say before I try and see what kind of questions are we getting?
No, so I mean, the two products that we launched yesterday, the Note 9 Pro, which of course has been a mainstay of the Note series, and the Note 9 Pro Max, which is all new. Really good looking devices, powerful and amazing cameras. But of course, what you can see here is they looked really good. My favorite color again continues to be the interstellar black, and I think people voted for the interstellar black the most.
Really? I thought the blue one was more beautiful. At least personally, I think the blue one is more beautiful.
That is a mix.
It's a little bit of combination of both blue and green.
So that's what it looks like. It looks like the Note 7 Pro's blue.
Yes.
And the Note 8 Pro's green.
And both combined together.
It's a new thing. Actually, probably want to thank the design team as well. They've done an excellent job making these devices look far more premium than the mid-segment it sits in.
I remember till Note 6 Pro, we used to always get this backlash that our designs are not the most beautiful ones in the industry. They were functional, they were very nice, they were sturdy, but not the most beautiful ones. But I think we have completely changed that game in last 1.5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have the live Twitter feed with me, and a lot of you guys are asking this question. The first question is actually regarding yesterday's launch event. We have been asked, Redmi India was going bonkers with number of tweets yesterday. How many tweets did actually happen?
So how many tweets did we put out?
We put out,
how many did we get?
I think total number of tweets that we got. Do you have that number?
I'm not exactly sure.
I remember that 4 out of 4 trends were us and 8 out of top 12 trends was us. And each of these was like about 100,000 tweets.
Like the first one, the Pro Cameras Max Performance, I remember seeing about 152,000 tweets.
Oh my god.
But that was just one, and then there was the Note 9 Pro trending and the Note 9 Pro Max trending. I think totally it should be close to 1 million, I guess.
1 million tweets. Wow.
It is.
Okay, so we don't have the number, we don't have the answer, exact number, but we'll try and get it to you guys. The second question, okay, this is an interesting one. Why the name Max and why not Ultra Max?
Okay, I think Ultra Max probably could happen maybe in like 2025 or 2030. I don't know. But Max is a name that was chosen specifically. It was also a throwback to 2016 and 2017 from our side.
Yeah, the Mi Max series.
The Mi Max series. And because we were going to a large display for the first time in a long time, almost like what, 2.5 years, it was also kind of paying homage to that Mi Max series, which obviously a lot of people still continue to use, love. In fact, I picked up a Mi Max from one of the team members that we have.
Really?
I've got that with me.
Oh my god.
So this is the Mi Max 2.
And this is the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max.
And if you put them side by side, you can start seeing, no, this one is...
Okay, but the screen size on both of them are actually similar. In fact,
no, it's bigger.
Redmi Note 9 Pro Max is bigger than Mi Max, but it has a more tall boy design at 20:9 aspect ratio. But yeah, it has a massive screen, both of them.
If you turn it around, the functional design versus the new Aura balance.
Yeah, you can see the stark difference. In fact, just on a lighter note, maybe in 2025, we can have many more names. We can probably think of Redmi Note XX Pro Ultra Max Super or something like this. But maybe every year, one or two years, we'll just keep adding one more name.
Maybe next fan meet, I hope we can do a physical fan meet sometime soon.
Yes.
We'll probably take more name options and see how long can we do. how many words can you say after the Redmi Note 9 in a single breath?
Yeah. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but Redmi Note, if we were to hype it off as a separate brand, it would probably be the third or fourth largest brand in India. And then Redmi Note in itself can have all these different series within Redmi Note brand.
Yeah. In fact, I mean, when you say the largest, I'm assuming you're talking about the sales itself, right?
Sales, yes.
Number of people who are actually using a Redmi Note. Every year, the number of people buying a Redmi Note and of course using it is in millions. I don't know if can we share the number for...
Today we announced a new number globally. You'll be surprised to know since the first Redmi Note was launched, we have already sold more than 110 million Redmi Note series phones across the world. 110 million only of Redmi Note series.
But Note 8 bika kya?
Of course, a lot. Okay, next one, and I think a lot of you guys will have this question because I've seen this question multiple times on my Twitter feed. Why 48 megapixel on Redmi Note 9 Pro and not 64 megapixel? Okay, so maybe I'll start and then you should add. So this is a big debate at our end, whether we should have 64 megapixel camera sensor on Redmi Note 9 Pro or 48 megapixel. And there were many reasons why we decided to choose 48 over 64. First, this is GM2 sensor. And if you compare it with other 48 MP camera sensors like GM1, it is a massive upgrade. And the quality of camera, the picture that you're getting on GM2 is of very, very different quality. And hence, we were confident that GM2 can actually produce results similar to 64 MP. Don't trust us. There are a lot of bloggers, YouTubers who have done comparison of 48 MP on Redmi Note 9 Pro with 64 MP on other phones. You can go and check them out yourself. So it is actually a very good camera sensor.
Yeah, I mean, it also brings in new technologies like the ISOCELL Plus, which wasn't there on the older Samsung 48 sensors. So it's taking in a lot more light and a lot more information as well. But even compared to all the other competition 48s or even 64s, one thing that we spoke about during the Note 8 Pro's launch, one of the main differences that comes in when you buy a Redmi Note phone with a 48 or a 64 is our camera team. Our camera tuning that is actually done in this office itself. So there's a big team that works on giving the best possible results on Indian conditions and what Indian consumers like on each of our cameras. You will see that result coming in as well. That's one. Second is we wanted to focus on what you can do with the camera,
yes,
and not just what it shows on the spec sheet. So the number of modes on this camera, if you're a pro photographer or a videographer, you've got your raw mode, you've got log mode, a lot of things that we couldn't talk about yesterday, but hopefully you will see that in other reviews, or maybe you can talk about it if you have a question on this. You will see all those benefits. And there's a third reason why we chose 48.
64 versus 48, 6 GB. So in fact, this is very interesting because if you really want to use the power of 64 megapixel and take pictures in 64 megapixel mode, we believe you need to have a minimum 6 GB RAM. Because what we do in 64 megapixel mode is we take 8 simultaneous pictures and we merge all of them to make one really high quality picture in 64 megapixel mode. With 4 GB, actually you can't do this, you can only take one picture. So on paper it looks like a 64 megapixel picture, but it doesn't really do justice to that 64 megapixel camera sensor. So the option was either if you want to go more aggressive and launch a 4 GB variant, either to use 4 GB with 48 megapixel or use 6 GB with 64 megapixel. If you use 6 GB with 64 megapixel, one, you have to pay for 2 GB extra RAM. Second, you have to pay extra for the 64 megapixel camera sensor.
And that will take you to the Pro Max pricing.
Similar kind of pricing, right? So that is why we consciously chose to use a 48 megapixel with 4 GB RAM on Redmi Note 9 Pro and 64 megapixel with 6 GB RAM on Redmi Note 9 Pro Max.
Yep.
Okay, now the next one, and I think a lot of people are asking about this, which is Snapdragon 720G. And they're also talking about your comment that G is not only for respect. So why Snapdragon 720G on both these devices? Why not use two different processors? And what is the advantage of 720G versus competition?
Okay. So 700 series itself, this is the first time we are using a 700 series processor. There are a couple of reasons why we wanted to go for this. It's 8 nanometer. That means it's more power efficient and much better on thermals. with the summers coming in, this is going to make a huge difference to your daily usage.
Yes.
Second part, which I think is very close to all our hearts, and especially the team that's been working very closely with ISRO, we wanted a chipset that could support NAVIC. Now, if we had done 720G and say some other processor in the lower one, and you would have missed having NAVIC, that's half the story gone. We wanted to push more about the local innovation that we're getting in terms of positioning systems. So all of that combined obviously is a couple of key reasons why we chose this, but it is a powerful chipset. In fact, and this is a fun fact, I was thinking about this after you announced the price. So here's another fact or behind the scenes. Till Manu drops the price, none of us know what it's going to cost, right? So for all our media colleagues who keep asking us, "Ki price bata do," we don't know the price normally. Right? So Manu dropped the price, and then last evening I was thinking about this. Probably in the history, now I could be wrong, and this is just my opinion. For the first time ever, a Qualcomm 700 series at launch, a brand new 700 series.
Yes.
I'm not saying an old one.
Yes.
Is being launched in a device, in a competitive device, under 15,000
Exactly.
in the world.
Yes.
Right. So this is a first that's ever happened.
And if you look at all our Redmi Note and Note Pro series, they're known for the latest and the best mid-premium Snapdragon processor. Like the global debut of 650, the India launch of Snapdragon 625, then global debut of Snapdragon 675, and this time Snapdragon 720. Every single time, we have tried to bring the latest and the best mid-premium Qualcomm Snapdragon processor for our Note and Note Pro series. And that's what we have done over here with Redmi Note 9 Pro and Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. We could have easily chosen some other processor, which was probably inferior, but we decided not to do it. We said all our consumers, they need to have the latest and the best, and that's what 720G gives you. In fact, if you go and read many of the blogs, they're saying this is probably the best processor available under 20,000 rupee price range. It's even better than 730G and Helio G90T.
Right. So yeah, I mean, this is probably the only processor that kind of ticks all the boxes.
Yeah.
So for the gamers, you do get performance, and yes, by paying a little more extra, you could probably get a different processor, but this one is almost there. Second is you're getting NAVIC. Third is the process technology itself, and it is efficient. And when you look at a particular device, when you're looking at product, when you're creating a product, you have to see what a regular Note user will be the most happy with. And that's one of the reasons why the 720G fits in perfectly there.
Yeah. Since you mentioned NAVIC, there are questions about NAVIC. First of all, people are asking me, what is NAVIC? And how is it better than GPS? And there's one another user who is asking, is it related to hardware or software?
Okay.
People just want to know more about NAVIC. Now, let me start by explaining what exactly is NAVIC. So there are different satellite systems available in the world, like GPS is from US, we have Beidou from China. Similarly, ISRO in India has developed NAVIC, through which you can locate the location of a particular device. And this is used in multiple ways, like when you're using Google Maps, when you're using Uber, Ola, any of these things, this technology is used. And we always wanted to support something which is made in India for India. And we started working with ISRO almost 1.5 years ago. I remember the first meeting happened in this office with the ISRO team. And we said, they were thinking about introducing NAVIC, and we said, we definitely want to support it. In fact, the first one, and I think you did mention it during the launch event, the first one which was tested on NAVIC was Mi 8, because it supported dual band GPS. So we are really, really proud to be working with ISRO to bring this specific technology for all Indians. And we really hope by using NAVIC, the kind of location precision that we will get is going to be significantly better.
So NAVIC is not our technology, by the way. So NAVIC belongs to ISRO. We are supporting it on our phones so that you can get, when you're say using maps or when you're going out and you want that positioning to know exactly where you are. And I think all of us use navigation a few times a week.
Yeah.
ISRO has 7 satellites above India, and they help you or help your device locate itself in terms of where it is, in terms of positioning, faster than any other standard, because these are focused on India and you get a little more accuracy as well. So a bit of both. So it's actually a better tech for Indians, and of course it is an Indian tech which we really want to support.
And it requires both hardware and software. So of course, hardware-wise, Snapdragon 720G supports Navic, and then we have a software patch which really enables it. So when you get your Redmi Note 9 Pro and Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, you can actually test it yourself, whether it supports Navic or not.
So this is also the only 700 series processor that supports Navic so far.
True. Okay, the next one, actually this is my personal favorite one. People are asking about the 5020 mAh battery, and how long can it last? Have you, what is your experience of using this phone?
So it lasts really long.
Yes.
Which became a problem because when our team was doing the testing, so we do multiple upcharge, basically how long does it take to charge, and then downcharge tests. Now downcharge is with regular stuff, so you put videos and you put games and you have scripts that run automatically so that you get a standardized time. It would take a very long time to discharge. You could keep playing on it. When I say playing, I'll go to my favorite game. So you can play up to 11 hours of PUBG Mobile. I couldn't play 11 hours, so just to be very clear, I did not spend 11 hours in office playing PUBG, but you can. So we have
Anuj Sharma is the Chief Gaming Officer, not just the Chief Marketing Officer, but also the Chief Gaming Officer of Xiaomi India.
So 11 hours of PUBG, but then of course, not everyone plays games. And for those people who want to watch movies or use their device for reading, you can almost go in a full day in terms of day and night. And you get that kind of a backup. So it's incredible. Of course, Note the battery is a given, but this one is the best battery that we've ever put on a Note, which is saying something.
I think it's very different for different people. For example, if you ask Anuj, who is a crazy gamer, Chief Gaming Officer, his phone will last probably a day. But if you ask somebody like me, and I really don't play games. In fact, I don't have any games on my phone by default. So if you ask me, for me, a Redmi Note 9 Pro or a Redmi Note 9 Pro Max easily lasts for 1.5 days on a single charge, because I mainly use this phone for some calls, a lot of chat messages and emails. That's all.
And GPS.
And GPS, Navic. Okay, the next related question is a 33-watt charger. So what can 33-watt charger do on Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, and why not 33-watt on Redmi Note 9 Pro?
Okay, so let me take the first one, and then because it was your call for the second one, so we'll do that.
Okay.
So what it can do is, of course, it can charge really fast, and that's the idea of it. How fast? You can get to 50% charge. Now it's a bigger battery, right? It's not a very small battery that you can claim it's going to 50% really quickly. It's a 5020 mAh battery, and you can charge 50% of this in less than half an hour.
Yes.
Of course, as it gets closer to 100%, it slows down, it gets into trickle charge, but you can still charge this entire phone in 84 minutes flat, so which is quite remarkable. And then you spend like 2 days to kind of drain it back in. So it's the best of both worlds that you get with this fast charger.
So yes, this is probably the first time that we are bringing a 33-watt charging capability to India. So this is like really, really fast. I think the best that we have done before is 27-watt charging on K20, K20 Pro, and now we are bringing 33-watt charging on Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. Okay, what about Redmi Note 9 Pro? On Redmi Note 9 Pro, we have given an 18-watt fast charging, which is still very fast, but of course not as fast as 33 watt.
It's the same as your Note 8 Pro.
Note 8 Pro, exactly. It's similar to that, which is already very good. And of course, if we wanted, we could have added that super fast charging chip on Redmi Note 9 Pro, and we could have also added this charger, but it would have meant extra cost. Again, then the pricing of Redmi Note 9 Pro would have gone closer to Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, and that's why we decided that Redmi Note 9 Pro will have 18 watt, which is already very good, similar to Redmi Note 8 Pro, but because Max is Max, we will use a special chip, fast charging chip, which can support up to 33 watt, and put this 33 watt charger in the box.
So because it's a special chip, and this is another question that I got from a few people, you cannot use the 33 watt charger of the Pro Max on the Pro
Redmi Note 9 Pro,
because it requires a separate PMIC or power management IC that sits, it's a hardware part in the phone. The Pro Max has it, the Pro does not. So it's not interchangeable, and of course you can charge the Pro Max with 18 watt, but not the other way around.
Okay. People are asking questions about the looks. The first question is, why no green color? The Gamma green color on Redmi Note 8 Pro was incredibly successful. Everybody loved it. Everybody asked for it. So why has Xiaomi abandoned green? Okay, let me first clarify. We haven't abandoned green. If you look at the Aurora blue on Redmi Note 9 Pro and Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, it's a very special blue. It's a blue which is different from any other blue that we have launched. It's a little bit of combination of blue and green. And depending upon which angle you're looking at, maybe you can see a tinge of blue and a tinge of green. So I really hope you guys will love it, because it really fits into the need of all the consumers who either want a blue or a green. Give us feedback if you want us to launch any new special colors. Maybe we can consider it.
Sure, you could look at new colors.
Which is your favorite color amongst three?
For me, it has to be this one. So we're calling this the Interstellar Black. But you know, this reminds me of, if anyone's seen the movie Terminator.
Oh, of course.
In Terminator, there was that T-1000.
Yes.
That Mercury man.
Yes.
It gives me that kind of a vibe.
Okay.
It looks metallic, but it is a little shade of black and a grey. It's unlike anything that you've seen before. I absolutely love this one.
I think it's also a function of age. Young people like me are going to love a lot more of blue color, this shiny blue. And more seasoned people like Sir Anuj Sharma are going to like this color, Interstellar Black.
This is not fair.
Okay. Another question regarding looks, why glass body? And people generally have this concern. You know, in fact, every time I go to an offline store, people say, sir, you keep talking about bringing a glass body, but what difference does it really make? Glass versus plastic? Because if you look at competition devices, very few, like maybe one or two devices under 20,000 rupee would be of plastic.
Of glass.
Of glass, sorry.
Most
of them would be plastic, right? And under 15, I really don't think there's any other device which is made of glass.
Might have been launched higher, now it's at maybe below 15.
Maybe.
But,
right? So why does Xiaomi keep launching phones with glass body? And if you just drop it, will it break? So let me start by saying, this is something that we have really worked on in last 1.5 to 2 years to make our phones the most beautiful phones in the market. And one of the initiatives that we took was to use glass body above 10,000 rupees, right? Below 10,000, we still have plastic bodies, but above 10,000, almost all our phones, if I'm not mistaken, every single phone is made of glass. And not just glass, we use Corning Gorilla Glass 5. People are not even using Corning Gorilla Glass 5 in the front. If you look at most of the phones under 15K, they use Corning Gorilla Glass 3. And we're using Corning Gorilla Glass 5 in front and also in back, and now also on the camera module. So it's a triple Corning Gorilla Glass 5.
Yeah.
So even if you drop it, nothing will happen.
Yeah, so I think a Gorilla Glass 5, if I remember correctly, is, so it's glass and it's basic physics, where if you drop it, it can take a certain number of drops from 1 meter. And the Corning guys had shared with us when we were also launching the Note 7 Pro.
Yes.
That it can take up to about 13 to 14 drops from 1 meter and still kind of sustain that. So the Gorilla
I can
Glass
actually
5,
try this now if you guys want. I'll just drop it and then you can check. Like nothing happened, not even a single scratch on this phone. And you can just keep doing it multiple times. Nothing will happen to this phone.
Every time that happens.
Okay, awesome. Let's move to the next one. What is 2x2 Wi-Fi Mimo, and what are the advantages of this technology?
So Wi-Fi is obviously becoming more and more important, especially when you are gaming, and you know when I am playing PUBG, the pings matter.
Yeah.
Right, and we all obviously like to play on Wi-Fi because that's where you get the maximum speed and the least pings. A ping is basically from the time I press a button, it registers on the server, the PUBG server, and how much time it takes. One part obviously is the broadband guy or the broadband service provider and how good that is. The second part is my local Wi-Fi, so from the router to my phone.
Yes.
Now earlier what would happen is when you start playing, you'd end up covering this phone a lot more, which could interfere with the Wi-Fi signal. So it will weaken the signal. With a weak signal, your device will actually not be able to get those signals properly. So on the Note 8 Pro, we introduced something called the Wi-Fi X antenna.
Okay.
So along with the normal Wi-Fi antenna, there was another antenna where if the Note 8 Pro detected that it's losing power on one antenna but the other one seems to be fine, it would switch to that. And of course it worked, but it had to switch. On this one we decided, why even make it switch? Why not put two antennas that work together at the same time? So Mimo is obviously multi-in and multi-out.
Okay.
So 2 by 2 means it's two antennas working together to have that transmission, which in a nutshell means that more power in terms of how much Wi-Fi signal power is coming, which means lesser chance of attenuation or blockage, overall lower latency, better coverage.
Yeah. Now you know why I asked Anuj to explain all of these things, because he can do a much better job than what I can ever do. Okay, let's move on to the next question. People are asking about, okay, let me choose this one. Okay, the display, cinematic display, what does it really mean? And does it really feel tall, 20:9? You know, this is the same question that I had, because earlier we used to have 16:9, then 18:9, then 19:9, and now we have really moved to 20:9. When I first started using this phone almost 2-3 months ago, I had the same question whether I feel comfortable or not. And let me tell you, it really feels comfortable. This is a very tall boy design. Here you can see this phone, and you can actually read a lot more. So if you're watching a video, if you're reading a book, if you're reading content, anything on website, especially for me because I read a lot of my emails on phone because I do not like to carry my laptop, and hence it's extremely helpful. You just get a lot more screen size.
Yeah. I mean, that's 6.67 inches, and again I'll bring the max to it.
This was 6.44 inch.
6.44 inches. And this one is harder to hold.
This is extremely comfortable to hold.
Compared to this. This feels like any other phone, except obviously a lot more screen now. And the screen to body ratio is also higher, so it just makes it a lot more easier to use. This other part of the cinematic display is that it's a 20:9. And cinema scope is mostly about 21:9.
Yes.
So you get that wide angle, which means if you're watching movies on this, it fills in the screen in a natural aspect ratio, which looks obviously much better and more immersive.
Do you know, earlier the only aspect ratios that were allowed was 16:9, because all the apps, Google, Android, entire ecosystem was geared for that particular ratio. And do you remember which was the first device to break this and to have a different aspect ratio?
Yeah.
Mi Mix, the first Mix phone, Mi Mix 1. That was the first one which had a different aspect ratio. And then we worked especially with Google to ensure a lot of Google apps work on that particular phone. And then it just opened a new era, because then people started moving towards 18:9, then 19:9, then 20:9. And it just made phones a lot bigger while still retaining the amazing hand feel. So really big thanks to the team that built Mi Mix. This is possible because it started few years ago with Mi Mix 1. Okay. Oh, this is fun now. I wish Ankit was here, because I think this is a question that a lot of people asked yesterday. People said, really loved Ankit's energy. I want to know, what did he drink before going on stage? I don't know that answer. Maybe you do.
So Ankit is a very health conscious guy. So what he did was, he took a little nimbu.
Okay.
He took a little namak, chini. That's all kind of healthy, little less of sugar, and then mixed it in this large, big jug of Red Bull.
Oh my God.
And the other part is that it's not just for the presentation. The presentation finished at about 1:15, 1:30.
I think he's like this the entire day in office. No, he didn't do anything special for the presentation.
But yesterday, because of the Red Bull, he was jumping around till about 6:37.
Okay. Maybe we should try having the same thing next time we are going for a launch event.
Red Bull with Nimbu Mirch.
Okay, this is a very controversial one, and I would prefer not to answer this one. People are asking me, Manu, what's your favorite pick? Redmi Note 9 Pro Max or Poco X2? Okay, this is a tough one, guys. I'll prefer to skip one. Of course, my favorite one is Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, but I will not talk about it. Okay, the next one is, what is our favorite phone, Redmi Note 9 Pro or Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, and the color combination. I think color we have already spoken about. My favorite is Aurora Blue, and his one is
Interstellar Black.
Interstellar Black. My personal favorite, if I had to choose one between Redmi Note 9 Pro and Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, I would choose Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. One, because of course it has a 64 megapixel camera on the back, quad camera, and it also has a 32 megapixel camera in the front. Now, you guys know I take a lot of selfies. I'm called, along with Sir Sandeep, who leads our Redmi marketing and is the head of our social media. The two of us are known as selfie experts in our office. So of course, I love to take a lot of selfies, and hence that 32 megapixel selfie sensor is really important for me. So just because of that 32 megapixel selfie camera, I would choose Redmi Note 9 Pro Max over Redmi Note 9 Pro.
For me, actually, you can remove the selfie camera altogether.
Yes.
I don't remember the last time I took a selfie. So for me, I think the Note 9 Pro retains everything, right? So I'm still getting the 720G performance. I'm getting the Navic part. I'm getting an incredible battery, huge screen, and the looks without having to pay for these extra things that you get on the Pro Max. So I don't really care about the 32 MP selfie. Because it's a 5000 mAh battery, I'll end up probably charging it overnight after like 2 days of usage. I'm perfect with the 9 Pro.
Okay. So Redmi Note 9 Pro for Sir Anuj, Mr. Tom Cruise of Xiaomi India, and Note 9 Pro Max for me.
Which is ironic because I ended up launching the Max, where like the other one, who Ankit le gaya because of his Red Bull.
Okay. What about quantity? So guys, as always, we'll try and bring maximum possible quantity for a first sale, which is next week of Redmi Note 9 Pro, and next to next week for Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. Now, remember, we are selling more than 10 million units every single quarter, more than 10 million, which means we sell about 1 million every week. We spoke about this during the launch event. The last year we shipped 43 million units we sold, and they're 52 weeks, so almost like 1 million every week, close to that, right? Which is already a huge quantity if you really think about it. So we'll try and bring as much quantity. I know all of you guys are excited. 1 million tweets yesterday. So these million people really want to buy these phones. We'll try and bring as much as possible. Stay tuned. The first sale is next week. It will go on Amazon, Me.com, Mi Home Store, Mi Studio stores, and soon will be available across all our stores. We have more than 10,000 stores in India, so you can buy it from any of these offline stores. Okay, this is a very, very serious question. People are asking about coronavirus, COVID-19, and are saying, will it impact our supply chain? If yes, in what way? Okay, guys, this is something that we take very seriously. In fact, we decided not to have an on-ground event for Redmi Note 9 Pro and Note 9 Pro Max. And this was a big step for us. We had been planning this event for more than 2 months. This was a global debut, an India first launch. And just like Note 7 Pro and Note 8 Pro, we wanted to have it with a large number of fans, with all of you guys. But we couldn't do it because of the current situation. For us, what is really important is the health and safety of all our team members, our extended family members, which includes our Mi fans, our media colleagues, our partners, and everybody else. So our strong recommendation for everybody is, please do not go out where there's huge gatherings, large groups. Stay at home, stay at your workplace, take enough precautions, wash your hands, use hand sanitizers. If you have cough, cold, use mask. But please, please, please take care of yourself. So given this, we decided to cancel this launch event. Till now, let me assure you and all our Mi fans, we're not seeing a big impact on our supplies because we've already built up some inventory here in India, given the Chinese New Year. Plus, now majority of our supply chain is localized. A lot of our components get produced or get sourced locally from country. And hence the impact on supply chain for us is minimal. We really hope we can continue to ramp up our local supplies, local manufacturing, and continue to serve every single Mi fan here in India. Awesome. I think we are almost done. We have finished 40 minutes. Is there anything that you would want to say? I'm just looking at other questions if there's anything
a lot of
that we have
questions
missed out.
coming in.
Yes. If there's anything that we have missed out, do you want to clarify that?
Green glass.
Questions around display, around, I think we have covered most of this question because there's a repetition of many of the questions that we've already answered. Okay. In fact, I want to ask all of you guys, please do let us know in comments, which is your favorite phone and your favorite variant and color combination. Tell us, of course, using the hashtags Redmi Note 9 Pro, Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, I love Redmi Note and Pro cameras, max performance. Please do tell us. We really love to hear from all of you guys. We will also be organizing Mi Fan meets across the country, where we will be showing these devices to all our Mi fans, physical fan clubs. And if we get more and more feedback, we can keep incorporating this for future use.
One more question.
Yeah, there are a few more questions which are coming up. Oh, there's a question for Anuj. आप शर्मा जी के बेटे हैं, कितने marks आए 12th के board में? Oh, this one, I would love to know this. Anuj has never even answered this question. Like, I have never asked this question, but he's never answered.
I don't even remember that. But then, I don't think marks matter that much.
Yes.
I mean, it's important to obviously know your subjects and know the content, but always learn from a practical purpose. I would, yeah, I mean, I don't want to answer marks.
Okay, let me tell you about my marks. I would be ashamed to tell both my 12th marks and my 10th marks. Both were in 70s. I was not a high performer. I never was a school topper. It just so happened that one day I woke up and I said, okay, I need to work hard. And then because of that, I do not know what happened. And then I entered IIT, and of course from there it was easy going. But I really don't think beyond a certain time, educational degrees or marks really matter. There are enough examples across the world where people have been super successful in life without scoring any good marks in any school or examination. Of course, if you score good, it gives you a head start, because if you go to a good college, score good marks, you get to get a better job, but that's all. But that has, in life, there's no correlation between the marks that you score. This is my personal perspective, so please don't kill me. I don't think there's any strong correlation between marks that you score versus what you end up achieving in life.
If there are any parents watching, they would hate this. But yeah, I mean, so for me, it was all about interest.
Yes.
Fun fact is that I got more in my engineering than I did in my 12th. So my engineering aggregate was a lot higher than my 12th marks.
For me, it was always the same. 10th, 12th, engineering, MBA, all 70s or like 7 point something CGPA. Consistent performer. Okay, so I think we are almost done. So thank you so much everybody for joining us today and also joining yesterday. Yesterday was really incredible. We were concerned that if you do an online only event without thousands of Mi fans, what will happen? But of course, we know the power of Mi fans. We have millions of people on our Mi community. We have more than 25 physical fan clubs across the country. So all of you guys joined in, and we got 1 million views and probably more than 1 million tweets. So thank you so much, guys. Once again, we request all of you guys to stay safe, take enough precautions. These are very challenging times, and we hope we can come out of this together. Take enough precautions, take care of your family. With this, signing off, Manu and Anuj from Xiaomi India office. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.